morning, everyone. Welcome to this day. It is, overcast day out. I'll tell you all about the weather and if we're going to get rain in just a moment on our show today. Segment with the Third Mutual Board President, Rosemary DiLorenzo. We talked about a lot of things that are going on with Third Mutual. Also, Stuart Spencer will be here today from Advanced Ear Care, and he's going to talk about several different topics, including the Starkey Foundation that he's a part of. And also we have another fine instructor from the Emeritus Institute, Victor Ettinger, who is, his class is about gerontology. Actually, what he told me, it's a little bit more than that, so we'll get into that once he sits down. And if we have time, we'll bring you a tape from Breast Lake. We'll see about that. Now, meetings today, there's only 1/3 has their pre-budget meeting, and this is for M&C. This is the time of year they start that process up. So if you're watching us in the morning, it's at 9 o'clock today in the Sycamore Room. Now, as far as the weather goes, well, remember I told you last week there was a chance of rain coming in. Originally, it looked like a little bit later in the week, but it's on its way. And in fact, there is rain happening right now, probably around San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara down there, or down to Santa Barbara or so. For us, it's making its way down. There was actually a little bit of sprinkle of rain, I think around Catalina this morning. We are looking at rain coming in probably after 10 o'clock or so, overnight into tomorrow. As we get into tomorrow, there's actual chance of thunderstorm, and we're looking at maybe, there's actually could be pockets of real stormy conditions that come down. So we'll see how much rain. I've seen for this area maybe anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain. So this is a pretty decent system, and it will last as it stands right now into Wednesday morning. We'll start to clear Wednesday afternoon, and then look, the temperatures just jump right back up. 71 on Thursday, 80 on Friday, and then into next weekend, we should be in the low to mid 80s. So we got a few days of more winter kind of rain, and then we get right back into spring rain. So we're below normal right now. Normal for us, right now should be about 73, 74 degrees. Then by the weekend, we're going to be above normal with plenty of sunshine as we make our way into May. Now, let's look around the county and beyond today. And as I said, cooler and mostly cloudy. Rain coming in probably after 10 o'clock tonight, anywhere from 10 to about midnight, then overnight into tomorrow. Everywhere you look at, you can see, kind of mild weather to cool weather. And we will get some sunshine today, I think. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a whole lot, but it is in the forecast to have, little blue skies peeking through here and there. It just depends how this system starts to come in. But overall, it's nice to get some rain, and we should get, like I said, 1/4 inch at least. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
This is a homage beat.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From our delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
Dr. Christine Chung with 7-Day Dental has served Laguna Woods for 17 years. Her office is close, her staff is the best, and she offers great discounts for Laguna Woods.
I have been a patient of Dr. Christine Chung at 7-Day Dental for 15 years. She and her staff are exceptional.
You may know me from Village Television. I would not go anywhere else for dental care than 7-Day Dental.
7-Day Dental, simply your best choice.
Well, with me right now is the board president of Third Mutual, Rosemary DiLorenzo. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
And we got a lot to talk about.
We certainly do. Third board is always really busy.
Yeah, and the first one is we want to get the word out. I know we've talked about this before. We've been getting the word out. that you have a couple vacancies, so you're looking for candidates.
Yeah, we have 2 vacancies. One is because Bert Moldow, our esteemed Bert Moldow, went over to GRF, which is going to be great because Bert has done so much for Third. And we have to fill his position. And then one of the other directors, Susie, resigned for personal reasons. So we have 2 openings. And we are accepting applications. You can get applications upstairs at Catherine Laster's desk.
Yes.
That's on the 2nd floor of the community center. Up until, and you can get them at any time. They have to be returned, completed by noon Friday the 4th.
Yes.
All right. And as of now, we have 2.5 applications completed.
2.5,
2.5,
okay.
which isn't good. No, I mean, that's good, but we have 2 positions open. So please, serving on the board is very rewarding. And we do try to cut back at the number of meetings we have, although they're having a meeting right now while I'm sitting here.
Yes.
But it is, most people say it's a great group. It's very stimulating. It's a really good team, so it could be very rewarding.
And
So-
from what I understand, these 2 vacancies will last about 1.5 years.
Yeah,
Am I
they
right?
actually do last 1.5 years. Wouldn't have to rerun in September when we have the
Right.
election. They'd be on for another year. So that gives you a good feeling as to whether you really want to stay.
Yeah, so you get
But
to
most
fill
people
half
want-
a
yeah,
term.
yeah.
Very good. Now, vacant houses, and I know I've heard from both the folks in United and from you folks. This is a big concern for a variety of reasons.
The thing is we actually, I think they went through the records and we actually found that a unit has been vacant for upwards of 20 years.
I heard that. That's astounding to me.
And it's not like they're not paying their assessments
Mm-hmm.
for 20 years. On these units, they're current. Either the money is coming out of a trust,
Mm-hmm.
so because the owner might be deceased, maybe the children are waiting until they're old enough to move in. Maybe everybody's arguing about it. I don't know.
That's true.
But we need a much stronger inspection policy because we can't have units that are not inspected for 1 year or 3 years or 5 years because things could happen. And we don't only want it to be an emergency. Yeah, if there was a leak or something, we can get in, that we know about. But in some of these, the toilet could be running or a window could have broken and a bird could be living in. I don't know. So basically, we have updated our vacant manor policy, and because it's such an emergency, it isn't going to be a policy where it goes into 30-day notification, et cetera.
Okay.
Basically, it becomes an emergency procedure, and I'll have Bert we'll talk more about it at the board meeting, which is coming up in a few weeks, just so that everybody knows what happens. And then within those 6 months that we're allowed to have an emergency procedure, we will develop the resolution and have a real resolution on file. But according to our attorney, you can't do an emergency procedure because our insurance company requires it, and we have to make sure that we're up there and current.
Oh, it's amazing, 20 years.
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
And of course, even though the assessments are being paid, as you mentioned, as other folks have mentioned, there could be problems happening there,
Right.
Whatever it may be, and
we only know, but I think in one unit, somebody actually noticed that there might have been a leak in there, and one of the residents pointed out. We went in and we found mold. Now it was just at the first stages, so it's really, really important for us. And I know that one of the things that's going to come out is I think that we have to do a better job of promoting the program where the residents hand in their key. And I know that I talked to Brad about that, and I also talked to our communications person, Eileen, and to make the program tighter. Why is it that people are reluctant to give in their key? Address that, figure out what the goal is, how we can better achieve the goal. What are the reasons why? Go ask 10 people, have you given in your key? Why not? Type of thing, and solve it. Because if it's easier for us to have the key there to go into a unit as opposed to the lock change and whatever, we have to figure out a reason why people don't want to hand in their key and make sure that they feel safe and secure in doing so. And I think that some people might not feel that way. I don't think anybody doesn't have an extra key. So we're really working on that also as part of this program.
All right, very good. Let's move on to why can't I pronounce it? Alteration standards.
You know,
I'm looking at that. And this is something that, again, both United and you folks are, I guess in a sense, streamlining.
Right. I get really upset when I read the local paper the week after our board meeting and it says, third is introducing new standards. We're not introducing new standards. We are modifying and updating the standards that we have.
From what I understand, is a lot of these are over the years you folks have looked at, again, both you and United. And the thing is, in a sense, you're kind of bringing them up to date, making things a little bit easier, standardizing things that maybe over the years people had to get variance for, and now you're making it easier in the long run.
And we just, the thing is what the person who we have in charge of the department now, and that's a good change that we have somebody in charge of the department, is going through them and saying, these are too wordy, this doesn't pertain to it anymore, let's update it in this way, let's simplify it, we don't really need this at all. So it's really a very positive, and he'll do maybe, because there's so many of them, he'll do like 5 or 6 or 7 at every meeting. So we are not adding any standards. We are not adding standards. We're really trying to make the whole situation better and easier for the residents.
Yeah. It takes a little time because there's so many, but in the long run.
And maybe there'll be less when we're finished.
Could be.
That'll be a good thing.
Now, another thing that you got to look at continually over the years are the slopes and the proper way to maintain them. And we've had, with the drought and all kinds of different things, it's an ongoing situation.
Third, when I first got on the board, which is almost 5 years ago, we actually had a slope program where we would go and replant, et cetera. Then we stopped it because of the drought.
Yeah.
Well, the basic thing is that we still are in drought situation, but we can't neglect the slopes. So we're looking at why are the slopes in this condition? Is it the condition of the soil? We were told that, or we went to a lecture about, and one of the board members, Jules, came back with a lot of information that we have a Mediterranean climate, so we shouldn't be doing like this drought resistant stuff, which doesn't mean to say we're going to go and plant the slopes with grapevines and olive trees.
The
we were thinking about it, like that would be nice. But the thing is we have to really go to the really move to the right planting for this climate, so it isn't desert, drought resistant. It's so we're really working on that. I'm really confident in the person who we have in charge of landscape, Bruce. He's very knowledgeable, very aggressive, and it's something that we have to work on. I know part of it is the clearing of the slopes, which in some areas have overgrown acacia on it, which we hate. Every time I see it, I get, think, oh gosh, there might be a coyote hiding in there. And I believe that one of the things that he's looking at, because we've actually worked with the union on this, is possibly hiring out the crews who clean the slopes, because it's heavy work and it needs very special training, and a number of our employees might not be young enough to do it. We don't want to, there's certainly no problem being older. I'm a little older, and but so I think that he's really working on it. He's looking at it a good way to try to clean them up. I know every morning when I walk the dog, and I see the plants, I want to take a picture of them and send them to him. But he is working on it. We have to get rid of the growth because of the fire danger. But we want to clean them up. And we're not going to be like wild people in there and put in a bunch of flowers as was done in the past, and then, you know, they die a year later. We have to be really careful on what we're doing. So I think that that's a new and exciting thing that we haven't worked on for a while. So you'll see more activity there.
All right, now leaks, and you know, going kind of keeping in mind with the slopes and things like that. Well, if you're walking around or the sprinklers come on or whatever it might be, even if they aren't on, you might see some water flowing somewhere, and it's, you know, the residents of the eyes and ears to the first ones, the first responders towards the leaks, so to speak.
And it's so true. You know, you hear the sprinklers going on, for example, and then the next day you come out and there's like a ton of water in the street. That would mean that there's probably something wrong.
Yeah.
Either a sprinkler head was broken or there's a leak there, and one of our residents had been reporting a leak over and over and over again, and finally it did get to Bruce and he took care of it, and it was a water main leak. So look at all the money that could be saved. So our residents, what you see, what you notice, what you can report to us, because this is a tremendous place, is so very important, because, you know, we don't want to waste water. Because you know, the water that we use, we want to be using it correctly and not be wasting it, because we really do watch our water bill. And James does such a great job with watching our water. He actually, I don't know if I had said it before, he actually noticed that our water bill was way too high, and he actually went and personally went to the location and looked at the meter, and the water company had read the meter incorrectly. And they owe us a credit of $21,000, which is a lot.
That's a lot of money.
And we're having our finance meeting on Tuesday, and I already asked, because we had a pre-meeting, and I said, did we get the $21,000 credit yet from the water department? So, you know, you have to look at things in all different ways. Don't waste water, is the bill correct, and all this other stuff. So it's really interesting. So the area, the people, please help us. Another way that you could really help us, and this will be my last thing for today, is we're really working with the head of architecture, and we're really trying to work for the residents in trying to minimize improper, I think that would be, or incorrect, or not done right construction in the community. Right. And there are a lot of things that, you know, we have found that sometimes if people have non-permitted construction, people could be going in and removing beams that are support beams. And because when you pull a permit, your work has to be inspected.
Yes,
so they could be and we've had one or two people who I feel sorry, you know, we've tried to help them. They bought a unit that had been renovated and not correctly, and the things in it were not done properly. So the whole program, this whole alteration procedures, alteration standards, which we're trying to improve, really is just very, very good. So we're working totally with the residents. I think the residents are excellent. I mean, they have reported things like construction people sleeping overnight in the units, which of course is not allowed. Vehicles on the street, people working at 8 o'clock at night. People, actually, we had a building captain report debris, and we had to go out and not only to clean it up, but to see if there was possible asbestos in it, because it was from a non-permitted unit. So we had to work with all of the people in the building. We had to have all of the, you know, in case they walked in it, checked for possible asbestos. So, and this was a contractor not being permitted and disposing of debris in the improper way. And whenever we find that that's happening, in order to not incur tremendous costs for the mutual, we have to deal with the owner or member who has hired this contractor who is just not paying attention. So if you are getting construction done, make sure that you have a licensed contractor and that your contractor is following the rules. It's better for you and for everybody else.
Yeah, and safer too. You mentioned asbestos. Some of these units are old enough that there could even be lead-based paint. Maybe that's been painted over the years. Now you're taking that down. Well, you got to do it the right way.
So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming on today. And remember, folks, if you are interested in applying to be on the third board, where they'll be appointing 2 folks, make sure to get your application into Catherine Laster by May 4th by noon. That's a Friday, right?
Yes.
And that's where you would get the application as well up here on the 2nd floor. So.
And she'll help you if you have any questions.
Yes, she's very good at that.
Yeah.
All right, good
Thanks
to see you.
a lot.
Thanks,
Thank
Ann.
you.
We'll be right
Bye-bye.
back.
Do you hear but not understand? I have good news for you. A proprietary system for verifying hearing correction, Verified Best Speech Clarity, is now available through the All-American Hearing Network. This means hearing improvement can now be verified and documented. Your individual hearing correction is guaranteed in writing. Call today to reserve your complimentary private consultation and experience word clarity dialed back into focus on the spot. Try AMP, the world's smallest hearing aid at an unbelievably small price, just $750. It's ready to go in one visit, comfortable to wear, and virtually invisible when worn. Yes, you can now have verified best speech clarity. Hear every word. Call today to reserve your complimentary private consultation and experience word clarity dialed back into focus on the spot, risk-free.
With me right now is Stuart Spencer from Advanced Ear Care. Good to see you, sir, as always.
Good to see
Welcome.
you again. Yeah, thank you.
So we're going to talk about several different things today. And the first one we're going to talk about is what you call third-party pay. And of course, people wanting hearing aids, a lot of them, they've got to figure out, okay, how am I going to be able to pay for this or afford this? So talk about the different ways people can, and does Medicare cover it, different insurances?
So, most of these, so everybody's always interested in third-party pay. Forever in the hearing aid industry, there's been a big lack of insurance participation, in paying for hearing aids.
Right.
So now with, Medicare supplements, some of these third-party pays are coming in and forming programs that are kind of outside the regular model. True Hearing, Hearing Care Solutions, Monarch, many of these different companies are coming in and providing some answers, and helping, reduce some of the costs sometimes for hearing aids, and us providing the services, them buying the hearing aids. So it's really, kind of going the right direction. But the thing about it that really we see more than anything is everybody that has one of those programs is really confused about how to use it, or what it does and what it doesn't do, and how it applies to our office, and what we provide and what they provide. So there's a lot of confusion. So if anybody wants to know, how that works, I just want to invite them to, give us a call or come in.
Okay.
And, we'll just sit down with them and straighten all of it out and just show them a real simple explanation to what kind of benefits they have, how it works, what kind of hearing aids that the programs offer, what kind they don't offer. But there's a lot of, great opportunity there, so it's fun to see this open up. And, we've got all the standard, insurance packages as with Blue Cross, and a lot of the teachers unions and iron workers, and, a lot of people that have retired down here used to work for Boeing, so they have a real great insurance contract that provides hearing aids. On most cases, everybody's individual.
Yeah.
And what we found that the best solution is really, we just get their information and we call for them. We have an insurance expert right in our office, and he's just fantastic, Mike Gomez. And he really gets a lot of good answers for everybody. And then they know exactly, where they're at and what they can utilize as far as the benefits, and what their out-of-pocket's going to be, what their co-insurance is. And, so it helps them to clarify things. So in this day of confusion, clarity is really good. We can help them to get there.
Well, that's good. So it's getting better.
That's right.
As far as that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Now maybe we can get the dentist on board. And
Yeah, there
dental insurance, right?
Yeah.
That's another one.
Good luck. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You've always talked about the great foundation. You're part of the Starkey Foundation.
Yep.
And they're worldwide.
Absolutely.
And you go to different places and go on, I guess, hearing mission, so to speak, right?
Yeah, you know, we always talk about that. It's a big part of our business, you know, in giving back to the hearing impaired world, you know, not just internationally, but nationally as well. And, you know, here recently, I say recently, time flies, you know, November where I was in the Philippines, Brandon was in Armenia. We have some opportunities coming up next month. Next month's Better Hearing Month. And you know, we may be traveling back to Armenia to help those people out again. You know, typically we're doing, you know, 2,000 to 2,500 people, you know, in a 1 week period, and really helping people connect, you know, back to their lives and to their families, and you know, really move forward in life in a real positive way, and strengthening all those relationships. And it's fun to see. You know, it's been going on for so many years now. A lot of these people that originally were fit with hearing aids, you know, are now, you know, well on into their school years or college, or even have families, and they have jobs, and they're, you know, supporting them, you know, by working, and, you know, it's all because it started with a hearing aid. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's very good. And I know, like you said, you and your son participate that in a lot. So
yep, always
fantastic.
will be. Yeah, that's right.
Very good. Now, tell me, you were telling me about your mom received an award, right?
Okay, that's right. You know, I've got to brag about her. You know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? So, you know, she's been to 26 different countries, you know, with the Starkey Hearing Foundation.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
And her and her husband, Joe. And, you know, she was in the hearing industry for over 50 years. And so,
wow, I didn't know that.
You know, a good, strong, you know, upbringing there. You know, that's how I got into it. You know, it was the last thing I was ever going to do, type of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And ended up really enjoying it. But she was honored this past weekend, or this a week ago Friday, out in Rancho Mirage. The mayor, Mayor Townsend, honored her with an award for senior inspiration. You know, it was a luncheon of about 250 people, and they had, you know, an honoree from each city that's out there in the desert, and she was chosen for Rancho Mirage. So
wow,
we're really excited about that, for her work in the foundation, for her work in the community with the Rotary Club, the Chamber of Commerce, the Women's Republican Organization, a lot of organization. She's a busy woman, you know, so, you know, she's 85, you know, and just on fire, you know, and really excited to see her get recognized for a lot of her hard work that she's done. I'm really proud of her.
That's great. That's really amazing. So congratulations to her. I didn't know that. I didn't know she was in the industry or had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
That is really cool. Yeah, very good, very good. Now, we're talking about, as we always do, the update of the Willow Tree Center. And it seems like more of the plans are coming to light as far as other changes they plan to make.
Yeah, you know, amen to that, right?
Yeah.
You know, so they were going to start in January with kind of, you know, after they got Aldi's and Dollar Tree in, and kind of work the way down to, you know, towards the other end, and get to us and kind of redo a facial, you know, rendering of the whole center and kind of tie it into the newer look. And so I just met with one of their representatives last week. And so they're going to kind of start down with Chase Bank, redo that whole end of the center. Then they're going to go to the other end of the center, up by the restaurant UPS up there.
Okay.
And come all the way down. That'll be more towards the end of May, and then and into June, and then towards the middle or end of June, they'll do the center section.
Okay.
And a lot is going to be done. You know, I mean, they're going to take away all that old tile look, so I'm happy about that. And redo, you know, all the heading and the fascia above the centers, so we're all going to get kind of uniform signage, which
that'll be nice.
Will be a really nice look. They're going to cut out some of the retaining walls and build a court kind of between where advanced ear care is, down to the 7-day dental, and cut all that out. And then they're looking at having 3 different food vendors be in there. To kind of open it up. They're going to have a kind of a salon, what do you call it, variety? I don't know what you call it, where it's going to be a salon, kind of a stadium, so to speak, where then each individual owner has their own station inside.
Okay.
There'll be like 20 different operators inside of that. So I kind of see that as being kind of a niche, you know, for this area. I think it'll be really well received. And then they're going to look at putting in another nail salon. And then, of course, right next to Dollar Tree now, that should be up real soon, is the fitness center, a new fitness center going in there. So, you know, it's all coming together, you know, finally.
Good.
You know, it's going to look nice and, you know, be busy again, and we're really looking forward to it, to being, you know, back up to speed.
Very good. I'm looking forward to any kind of food additions that you can put in there.
I get it, yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Well, congratulations again for your mom. I think that's wonderful.
Thank you. You know, the only other thing I'd say today is that, you remember coming up here tomorrow through the end of next month, May is Better Hearing Month. So anybody that wants to come in and talk about hearing, better hearing, have their hearing tested, and they've never had it tested before, even if they think they have good hearing, you know, we're there to help them just to see where it's at, give them a good benchmark. So come on in and have your hearing tested.
That'll be great. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Always
Ken.
good to see you, sir.
Likewise.
All right, we'll see you again soon, and take care.
Thank you,
All
Ken.
right, we'll be right back. That's yeah, that's.
Hi, it's Desiree from Irvine Subaru, where families come first. As a family-ran dealership, your family's safety is our #1 priority. Come in and find the perfect Subaru from the largest selection of Subarus in Orange County. All models are top safety picks by the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety. We offer the ideal balance of safety, performance, and economy. Irvine Subaru, more Subarus, more safety, more performance, more love.
I'm Dr. Ray Floberg, and I want to welcome you to our brand new facility here in Laguna Woods. We've been serving the community since 2006, and we're super excited to bring you an awesome team of doctors, Dr. Jackson, Dr. Asaturians, Dr. Vian, myself, here to serve you in our brand new state-of-the-art facility. Call us in the morning and we'll get you in the same day, guaranteed.
Did you know there are over 400,000 seniors in Orange County today? Over the next 10 years, that number will more than double. So where does a senior or family caregiver go for information? Turn to us at the Council on Aging of Orange County. We can help you navigate the aging experience, understand Medicare, and know where to turn when a crisis occurs. As a local nonprofit since 1973, we serve 275,000 seniors every year. The Council on Aging, helping seniors remain healthy, connected, and protected.
Okay. With me right now from Emeritus is Victor Ettinger, and good to have you on, sir. And
thank you. It's good to be here.
We're going to talk about your class that you do, because as we were just talking right before we came on, how it's listed doesn't really describe what it's about. So
correct.
You are, it's listed under gerontology, and the name of the course, so people at least know, is called Weight-Related Health Risk Factors, but you were just talking about it's more than that.
It's much more than that. I'm a physician. Mm-hmm. I'm an endocrinologist. Endocrinology deals with hormones and metabolism and diabetes and thyroid and stuff. And what I talk about is the fact that endocrinology is ongoing and changing throughout an individual's life.
Okay.
And I talk about these changes in our aging population.
So as far as the class, what does it entail? What do you go over? What can the students anticipate that they're going to learn?
Well, I talk a lot about diabetes, because that's what endocrinologists do primarily, and diabetes drugs, but I talk about daily topics like thyroid disease. I talk about supplementation, the pros and cons. I have guest speakers come in who talk actually from the Laguna Woods office. I have people come in and talk about all the services that Laguna Woods has to offer for the elderly population. Last week I had somebody talk about death with dignity, the law that passed several years ago.
Right, right.
I'm having somebody come in this coming week who will be talking about organ transplantation.
Oh, interesting.
And I have people come in and talk about fall risk and fall prevention. So I have a whole span of things, because endocrinology is the basic basis of health. And individuals who want to be healthy need to know how to do that.
Right.
And that's a lot of what we talk about.
Very interesting. And as far as the people that come in there and take this class, are they people you find that maybe have some of these ailments, or just come in to want to prevent them, want to find out how can I live a healthier life? Or
I think it's a combination of both. When you reach our age, the people in general who live here in Laguna Woods Village, we all have some ailments that we talk about. Heart disease, because we talk a lot about how to treat cholesterol elevations and what the benefits are. And it's not only medications. We talk about exercise, we talk about diet. So the people who come have either themselves or a family member who has these issues, and we talk about how to optimize your health for the particular stage of aging that you're in.
Okay, and that's
different for everybody.
Yeah, it's different, and it's a good point you make, that some people that want to find ways other than medications to better combat whatever ailment they have, high cholesterol or whatever it may be. And in some cases, you have no choice. But I think for most people, if there's a way to get around taking something, they'll more than likely do that.
And I talk a lot about exercise, because exercise is critical, but many people are unable to do exercises standing up. So I actually have a program where people do chair exercises in my class. And I get them very tired because they're really working. Chair exercises may sound simple, but they're very effective in moderating cholesterol levels and moderating blood sugar and helping people who can't get up and walk or run or go on the machines that we have here.
Yeah,
in
very
the gyms.
good. So what about your background? Obviously, you're an MD, and were you primarily in the medical field for years, or you've always been involved with teaching in some way?
I've been both.
Okay.
I did my early training in New York, and I did my endocrinology training out here in California at Harbor UCLA in Torrance.
Okay.
I then went into private practice for 20 years. I moved to New Mexico and became the medical director for the state of New Mexico's prison system, which was an absolutely fascinating experience.
Yeah, I bet.
And then for the last 19 years, I moved to Bakersfield, where I was, for a time being, the medical director of a managed care program. Then I became the chief of the division of endocrinology at the county hospital, where I did a lot of teaching. But I've been teaching the public for 40 years, ever since I started.
Oh, okay.
And then I finished up teaching not only the public, but students and residents. And I love teaching. It just, my week's highlight is my Wednesday morning and my Friday morning classes.
Well, fantastic. That's great. Well, you have a wonderful background. Now, your courses, you're going to be teaching the summer session
I'm not
as well?
going to be teaching summer. I'm going to start again in the fall session.
Okay.
And it will be Wednesday and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 11:20.
Okay.
And it's not very far away, though it's not on the grounds. It's at the Methodist Church on Moulton Highway.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So just,
it's a piece of cake.
Yeah, it is. Great to have you on. You got a wonderful background.
Great.
And interesting courses that you teach. I think they're very beneficial. And so if people want to get in on it, they have to look towards the end of summer for the fall.
Correct, when the next registration for the emeritus program goes into effect.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to having a lot of people who haven't been aware of my program, my classes, show up for the first time. That's the part that really gets me excited, because they're always asking questions.
Yeah.
And questions is what makes the class interactive
Yeah.
and fun, because I
Yeah.
want it to be fun as well as education.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for coming on. I
Thank you
appreciate
very
it,
much
sir.
for having me. I appreciate
Well,
it.
maybe see you again closer to the fall.
Okay, I
All
hope
right.
so.
Very good.
And I hope you'll come and join my class, because for anybody over the age of 15.
Okay,
So,
all right.
all right.
Very good.
Take care.
We'll be back in just a moment. We'll get you unhooked. Hold on.
Hold it.
The difference between working for a center like BreastLink and, say, a freestanding radiology center is the comprehensive approach to the care. So a patient in another setting might come in and have their mammogram done in one facility. Then if there was an abnormality found, have to go to a separate facility to have a ultrasound or a biopsy done, and then be referred to a third facility if something was abnormal in that biopsy and further care was needed. That creates the possibility of loss of information. You're relying on the patient to take all of the information from one center to the next center and then to the third place to see the breast surgeon, for example. On the other hand, at BreastLink, all of our offices and physicians are connected. We will perform the screening mammogram. The same group of physicians will perform any necessary diagnostic imaging, biopsy, and then our surgeons are right there with us. We can look at the images with them. We all have radiology pathology correlation conferences where any newly diagnosed breast cancer patient is reviewed by our team of pathologists, radiologists, surgeons, and oncologists to make sure that the treatment plan is optimal and that we have all considered every option of how best to service that patient. That kind of comprehensive approach by one team cannot be accomplished by jumping from center to center. And I think that is probably the biggest benefit to both the patients that come to see us, but also to the physicians, that we know that our patients are extremely well cared for and that nothing can slip through the cracks once they enter a BreastLink center, because we will see them through from screening mammogram all the way through years and years post-treatment if that was necessary.
Genetic testing is where we can actually test your blood sample to see that if you inherited a predisposition to develop a cancer. I myself had breast cancer at 37, and so I really wanted to know myself in terms of whether I had a predisposition that caused cancer at such an early age, and also if I had the ability to pass that on to my children. But what genetic information does, there's a lot of fear about knowing your genetic information, but what it really does is it allows us to be proactive. If we know that we inherited genes that aren't functioning to prevent cancer, then we can potentially prevent that cancer before it actually occurs. So it's given us so much more power on the prevention side, knowing that information. Less than 5-10 years ago, when we were looking for genes that cause hereditary cancer syndrome in breast, we were just looking at BRCA1 or 2. And now we're looking at 28 and 48 genes at the same time, in the same amount of time, and it's costing the patient about the same amount of money. It's actually just as cost effective to look at 28 genes as it is to look at 1 or 2 genes. So the information we're getting is growing exponentially, and what we can do with that information is tremendous. For instance, in a patient who has the BRCA gene, particularly BRCA1, and they have a triple negative cancer, we have a group of drugs that targets the broken pathways in those patients. So it really allows us tools not only to prevent cancer, but to adequately treat the cancer that a person might get.
Different is powerful, yet calming. Different is a friendly smile. Different is accepting, not judging.
Different is the unexplained, left to the imagination.
A day without plans, to walk, to explore, a coastal drive with no destination. Different is anything but predictable. Different can be good. At South County Lexus, you'll find different is amazing.
South Bay Jewelry has established trust in Laguna Woods for over 35 years.
We are expert GIA gemologists and appraisers of jewelry, estates, watches, and valuables. It is evident that South Bay Jewelers' recipe of superior customer service, quality, and trust is the reason for continued success in Laguna Woods. We specialize in custom designing, bridal and anniversary, and watch and jewelry repairs, with all services done on the premises.
South Bay Jewelry, next door to OPA in Aliso Viejo.
And our movie coming up for today is one that was up for several awards, and actually during award season it won many awards as well. It is called Phantom Thread, and it stars Daniel Day-Lewis as Reynolds Woodcock, and this is set in 1950s London. He is a renowned dressmaker whose life is disrupted by a young, strong-willed woman who becomes his muse and lover. It's a very different kind of movie. Obviously, it's about him being this sort of master clothes designer, but it's also about the different relationships and about the very different and very strange relationship that he has with this woman. And it is quite strange at times, and I think you'll find it very intriguing. Great acting, of course. Daniel Day-Lewis stars. It runs a little over 2 hours. It's 130 minutes. It's rated R, primarily for adult situations. So that will be today at 2 o'clock, as well at 6 o'clock, Phantom Thread. Now, our movie coming up for Monday is a romance movie called Forever My Girl. And this tells the story of a country music superstar who left his bride, and he left her at the altar, choosing fame and fortune instead. However, he never really got over her. So as he comes back to his southern roots in the small community where he was born and raised, and he unexpectedly returns for the funeral of his high school best friend, he is suddenly faced with the consequences of all that he left behind. A very good movie, and it's got good reviews. Alex Rowe and Jessica Roth star in Forever My Girl, and this will be our movie coming up on Friday. So we'll have that to you at 2 o'clock and at 7 o'clock. So good movies coming your way. Boy, we're already into the month of May. Well, tomorrow, because that'll be our first May movie. So some of the movies we have coming up in May are Monday movies. We have The Commuter on May 7th, All the Money in the World, and that will be on May 14th. Paddington 2, excellent reviews for that movie. We showed you a Paddington 1, I think, back in, I think it was January, and this is Paddington 2, which came out that same month. And then we have The Girl with the Pearl Earring, a very different movie that is based on a famous painting. Then, as we get into Friday, I told you about Forever My Girl, we have Mrs. Brown, and this movie came out almost 20 years ago, about Queen Victoria having a relationship with her servant. And here's the interesting thing about that movie. Judi Dench plays Queen Victoria, and of course, she just got through playing Queen Victoria again in that movie that came out last year, Abdul and Me, about another relationship that she had. True stories, both of these. And even though these movies were set 20 years apart, I think in real life they were set 20 years apart. So Judi Dench loves playing Queen Victoria. Then we have 12 Strong, which tells the story of a special forces team that was deployed in Afghanistan. Chris Hemsworth stars in that. He is, if you do not recognize the name, the actor is the actor who plays Thor in the Marvel movies. And then finally, we have a movie with Dakota Fanning, Please Stand By. That will be May 25th. So a lot of good movies coming your way, very different kinds of movies. And I hear we already got some of our June movies coming up as well. And one of them, a little sneak peek, is one of the biggest movies of all time, and that is Black Panther. That will be coming your way in June, and if you want to see Black Panther again, it's still out in theaters, and the characters in the recent, the one that came over this weekend, the Marvel movie Avengers Infinity War, which I hope we were able to bring to you sometime later in the year, but that's going to be in theaters for a long time because it's, in its first weekend, it hit $750 million. So I think Disney's going to keep that one in the theaters for a while. Now, off to the races. Kentucky Derby is coming up on May 5th. If you would like to partake in a mint julep, which I would like to partake in, and enjoy the Kentucky Derby, tickets are $21. They're going to be happening at Clubhouse 5. There'll be all kinds of food that's included with that price. And they will have the, of course, mint juleps for $3. They will have free beer and wine. The beer and wine will be included in the price for $21. And of course, all the great food that they'll be having. But for dessert, for dessert, they got pecan pie, which is another one of my favorites. But if you go over there, you gotta have a mint julep, definitely. That is the official drink of the Kentucky Derby. And for those people going out to Kentucky Derby this year, every year they do this to raise money. They have a $1,000 mint julep, and it's same ingredients. It's high-end bourbon that they use. I think they use Woodford Reserve, but it's a gold-plated cup and I think a gold-plated straw, but it goes all to charities in that area. So if you're going out to the Kentucky Derby, maybe you get one of those $1,000 mint juleps if you want. All right, or you can just spend $3 and have one here on Saturday. I think that's what I would do. We're going to tell you about the Senior Summit, the days that are airing here on Channel 6. And of course, that took place about a week ago. So we're going to bring that to you on May 5th, Saturday at 1 o'clock, Sunday, May 13th at 11:30, Tuesday, the 22nd at 6 p.m., Thursday, the 24th at 6 p.m., and then Wednesday, May 30th at 7 p.m. So you can tune in and watch the Senior Summit that took place here a little over a week ago. It was very popular, very well attended. They even have to have an overflow crowd. There were so many people there. So if you didn't get to go, or maybe you did, you'd like to kind of recap it, you can watch any of those dates. We'll bring it here on all those. We have 5 opportunities to watch that in the month of May. Are you an artist? Well, the artists are coming together once again for the Village Art Affair, and that will be coming up in June, on June 6th. Beginning on Monday, a week from today, you can register to become one of those artists to show your wares there. It's $10 per person to register. This is a really good event. They get a lot of people attending this, and they bring in artists not only from the community, but from around the surrounding area as well. So if you'd like to participate on this, beginning May 7th, you can register, and then the show will be held on Wednesday, June 6th at Clubhouse 2. So enjoy that. Even if you're not an artist, you just want to go, there's just a lot of fun there, and it's well attended and really, really great artwork. People there do wonderful jobs. And the artists here in the community are outstanding. All right, the weather. We're going to finally get some rain back again, and it's kind of really interesting this year. Most of our rain has come in the spring, and once again, this system actually looks to be pretty darn big. Not big as far as the amount of rain we're getting. However, it's stretched far and wide, and that's why it looks like this could be a day and a half of rainy conditions coming our way. And we're looking at right now rain coming in late tonight, and I think it's going to be, from what I've seen, anywhere after 10 o'clock to overnight into tomorrow. Tomorrow there's a chance of thunderstorm. There's actually some cells involved with this, meaning stronger points of rain that could bring a thunderstorm or two into the area. And then on Wednesday, we'll get rain in the morning, and then it'll start to clear in the afternoon. So today, oh, and by the way, look at the temperatures as we get to Thursday and Friday. Big swing in temperatures as a high pressure system begins to come in. So today, we may see some sunshine. I think we probably will, on and off. But again, do expect some rain by late tonight. Again, I'm thinking about 10 o'clock or so. I'm kind of looking online here to see if that was updated, but it's still about the same as we get to the late evening. We'll start to see some rain come in, probably just a little bit of drizzle, and then it'll get stronger as we get to early Wednesday morning. Here's the temps around the county and beyond today. You can see we're going to be in the low to mid 60s, so not real warm, considering we had a pretty good weekend going on. And Palm Springs even down to 84, so kind of chilly out there for them. Lake Arrowhead, 51 degrees. Now, the interesting thing about this forecast is they are expecting snow, believe it or not, in the mountains up in the Big Bear area. So they could get another round of snow. I don't know if that'll bring any more skiing up there, but we'll see. That's kind of nice. But do expect some rain coming in, so if you want to keep things covered up and taken care of, do so. I'm already looking at stuff around my yard that I may have to cover up. Again, it shouldn't be too much. I'm thinking a quarter to maybe a half inch of rain, but we could get bouts of those cells coming in. That would be more on Tuesday, on tomorrow, that we'll get those. All right, tomorrow on this day, we are going to be having a couple guests from the Hearing Wells Club, another instructor from the Emeritus Institute, and you'll recognize him, Doug Custance. He's a conductor. And there we're going to have Tom McCrae, our golf pro, on, and then Pastor Leland Lance with the Lutheran Church. So we'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.